So it's the end of another year, and I wanted to do this highlights video of my year because so often, we all forget, but I especially sometimes forget the fine details of every year. My goal every year is just to make progress, and more often than not, I look back at every year and I say, I've got better this year, and there's no need to worry. Look forward to next year because it's going to be even better. And so many people would say that 2020 was the worst year of their life, and I understand that completely. But for me, I'm such, someone who's an achiever, so I'm always looking to the next thing, and I'm so busy, and I've got so many things to do. Even with my YouTube channel, I've got videos to upload from this year, which I'm going to talk to you about. But the idea is that I want to do this video to look back and realise that really for me it's been the best year yet. So many people would say that it's been their worst year, but for me, when I really look back at it, I've achieved things that I could never have dreamed of. I've been tested, and life is nothing without achievement. Life is nothing without a challenge, and it's had all of that and more. So that's why 2020 has been the best year yet for me, and I want to run through it right now with you. I've got some pictures. I've got quite a lot to get through month by month, but I want to start off really with this first picture, which was a picture of me with my family back on the 1st of January 2020. And we went to a restaurant called Côte Brasserie. It's a French cuisine restaurant, really nice. And the reason I wanted to start with this one is because little did I know what was coming. All the good things, all the great things, and all the tough things as well. And what I want to say, before I even get into the rest of the video, is that think about going forward. If that's you watching this, you think look forward to 2021. You don't know what's around the corner, and you have to always keep your optimism. I know it's hard when it's been a tough year, but you have to keep the hope. Hope is everything, and you have to keep believing that everything is possible. And I never, thought that I was going to do everything we're going to go through now. So it just goes to show you, you can never, as they say, count your chickens. You never know what's coming, good or bad. Life is always high and low. So you haven't got to worry about, you just have to keep creating, keep pushing forward, and good things will come, tough things will come, but you'll get over them. So, I started the year and I was playing for Sawbridgeworth Football Club, and it was the first season back. I know life is cyclical, and I hadn't played for a season, and then this season I played more or less the whole season, and it was such a great club to play at. They welcomed me with open arms, and it was, I felt so valued there, and it was a decent level for me to get back into after my hip injury. But also, I've been doing many things. At the same time, I still am running my juicing consultation, workshops, and also one-to-one consultations at people's houses. And at the start of the year, I actually did more people than I'd ever done in one go. This was a family, 4 people here. So I was talking not just to one person, but to 4 people, because that was a big step up for me, showing them the power of juicing, blending. And actually at the same time, after that, I was meant to be going to a West Ham game. I hadn't been the season before, so this time I was meant to be going in director's box. I was invited by Hilker and Trevor Brooking, but then I go and get a call, and when you get a call and you think, I don't want to do, I want to enjoy myself, I want to go to West Ham. But instead, I made the step up, and it was my time to get my first team debut with an Essex Senior League team, which was Sawbridgeworth first team. It'd been a long time coming, so I was so glad to finally have that chance. And I think we lost 2-0 in the end, but it was 0-0 at least till half time. And everything, even on the website, there was a picture on the website, and I was just like, I'm doing so well for myself in football. I just want to keep this going. So then, obviously, I was still at university, and I did some things that I never dreamed of doing. I presented a live cup draw in front of a live audience on the Facebook, on UCFB's Facebook. You got the Wembley Stadium pitch in the background. Obviously the Euros were meant to be coming up in the summer, so there was big hype around Wembley Stadium. I did a talk in front of prospective students talking about my journey, and it was so nice to talk to people who were once in my position and give them a bit of clarity, a bit of certainty. And also I took a photo of myself just during coming out of one of my lectures at a point where I thought it's forever, and nothing's forever. So if things are tough, you realise they'll always come to an end, and things will get better, but you just have to keep, they say if you're going through hell, just keep going. This is Matt Wilson. Still am part of his inner circle, which is where a small group of people meet. And he actually had his big Brighton event coming up, which I went to in March. And this was quite nerve-wracking for me to talk to him because he's like Andy Harrington's marketing guy, who's the public speaking expert that I, have been trained and taught by. So this was his sort of marketing, social media, Facebook inner circle meeting. And I remember I was so stressed at the time because I had the documentary coming up. I wanted to get into this stuff, but I just found it hard to focus on it because I was so engrossed in the university work. But I wanted to do a quick video to him, and I said, you've got your event coming up, you must be excited. And I thought to myself, I am a broadcaster, I am an interviewer, so I must do this. And so I did, and that was so great to talk to him. That'll be coming up on the channel as well. I did a 30-day shred. That was great because I did this Beast program, the How to Beast guy. I did like a 3-month program, something like that. And it was tough, and then I kind of lost my way because the novelty wears off. I got back into the gym, both in my dad's gym, both in the Riverside gym at Chelmsford, and it was so great because there was different people in there. I'd meet new people. But I was also keeping myself in peak physical shape, and it was tough, but it was definitely worth it. I was doing live videos every day, uploading them to the groups. That was even better. Moving on to February, what would be my last game, I think, at Barnet, and that was a journey. I did a documentary there, got first class. That gave me the belief going into my next documentary. This was actually at the Hartlepool game, and I was actually scheduled to interview a guy called Ben Killip, who I trained with at Braintree, for my goalkeeping book, which I didn't actually get done, but I'm going to be doing next year. And the beauty of what's happened is now I'll be doing them on Zoom because it's so much easier, and I can interview more people, get a better reach. But he wasn't actually playing that day, so I was a bit disappointed, and he didn't reply to my final message because obviously he wasn't playing. So obviously he was having a bit of a rough time. So I didn't really want to start interviewing him and stuff. So I kind of left that one, but that would go on to be, I think, my last Barnet match of that season. I remember going for this Chinese meal with my parents, and I remember the coronavirus had just started coming around. It wasn't obviously was what it was and what it turned out to be, but we were sort of joking about it at the time. But it's quite amazing to think back then what was to come. And the same again, I went to breakfast with my mum, and at that point I was getting so nervous. I was going to America, I was really doing this. And I was talking to her, she was on the phone to a friend, and she said, "Oh yeah, Luke's going to America." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to America." And it was quite, I just wanted to enjoy myself, and I couldn't because I knew that I was going to have to dig something out deep here to get that first class. And had my sister's birthday, she got her car. It was a great day for her, and I remember going for the meal in London. It was just a really nice meal, and obviously it was a bit of the calm before the storm, because I knew Atlanta was coming, and I knew I had to get myself ready for it. I did have a couple of football matches, which would go on to be my last few matches for Sawbridgeworth, but we did play Redbridge first team. Bearing in mind we were the reserve team, quite a lot of young players, the youngest team in the league, and we held our own, and we lost, I think, 1-0 in the end. We were losing 1-0 at half time, and it's coming back now. And we were playing this men's team, we held our own almost 0-0 till half time, and then we lost 5 or 6-0 in the end. But it wasn't about that, it was about giving it a go. And if we'd won it, we'd have played our first team, Sawbridgeworth first team, which would have been great. You had in that team, the captain of the first team was the guy that used to work on Dad's gym, so it would have been great to have that competitiveness. But it wasn't meant to be. Some things in life are meant to be, some aren't meant to be. This was a save in one of my last games. I kept a clean sheet, which would go on to be my last game for Sawbridgeworth, because unfortunately, the fact I left it late, and I did put the flights late for Atlanta as well, it wasn't guaranteed until sort of January, February time that I was actually definitely going. But by the time I'd let the manager know, I think he thought it was a bit, unfair on the team to let them down. They didn't have a goalkeeper. I left them in the lurk a little bit, and understandably, then when I came back, I was dropped. But that's nothing bad about the club. That's just an unfortunate situation. And Sawbridgeworth, I'll always hold a special place in my heart because they gave me a chance and they gave me hope that I can still make it to a high level in football. Tom Watt, I remember when I first saw Tom Watt at university in October time in 2019, and I was going to go up to him afterwards. I just didn't have the confidence. And then when I found out that he was doing meetings for our documentaries in the December time for the Barnet one, and he's a Barnet fan, I thought I have to go for that. And then eventually I got to know him so well. I met him just before I went to Atlanta, and he's done documentaries to such high level. He made the difference for me in terms of, along with Mick Kelly, and he really, gave me a deep understanding. He'd done documentaries in America as well. It was just so brilliant to meet him. Shepherd's Bush, actually, in Westfield, the same day when I got the drone, I think, as well. So that was just incredible. All the setup for Atlanta, all the kit I had to take, the stress of that, the extra luggage cost as well. I had the drone. It was incredible to have like the same drone as the guy I watch on YouTube. It's like a £1,000 drone, and I rented one. I found a way to get that drone. And this was me leaving the airport. I was so nervous at this point. I was also determined. I had more than one plan. I wanted to get the documentary done, but I also wanted to, do many other things, which I wasn't guaranteed at the time. Obviously, I wanted to get a first-class documentary and ultimately get a first-class degree. But, I was nervous, but I wanted to train with the football team. I wanted to interview Jack Collison, maybe do a little podcast. I wanted to meet an American girl, because I've just seen this TV program. I thought, I have to meet an American girl. It's my favourite country. I want a girlfriend. I want to meet an American girl, a bit like Love Actually. And I remember getting on the plane. I think I'm doing this. There's no going back. And I was nervous but excited. And I arrived in Atlanta. I was even trying to film meeting Jack Collison on the GoPro. And I thought, you know what, just keep it real. And he actually had a couple of guys with him, like West Ham scouts, who actually came to watch me play at Hornchurch, which was just surreal. I thought, these guys are it. They're not trying to be it, they are it. And I'm in his car driving through the heart of Atlanta, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this the best trip ever. It wasn't guaranteed. It started off as a bit of a disaster, but as you'll see, it became the American dream quite quickly. I spent so much time working, preparing, watching other people's documentaries, some people in my course, the best on the market, and watching them and how they do it, how they interview, the different camera angles. I wanted to make this the best. I didn't go to America for no reason. And I was on my own, I was solo, but I wanted to make this happen. And I went on to make a really good documentary, not just in my opinion, but other people have told me. One of my proudest moments of 2020 was to go out to America, film Jack Collison on his journey after leaving West Ham. And it was just such a great place. The facilities, one of the best MLS clubs. I'd won the MLS, a year or two before when I went out there. I had all the equipment with me. I filmed, did interviews. A West Ham legend, a West Ham hero, really. Stephen Glass, who became the Atlanta manager this season. Jack's wife, Alex, who's a model. I was so nervous, but I did these things. I stepped up, and looking back, I'm just so proud that I did this. And I've developed a long-term friendship with someone who was and is a professional, not someone who proclaims to be, always tried to be, but didn't quite make it. He's the real deal, and I got to be around that, and he gave me hope that I could maybe someday be like someone like him. Even if it was just a fraction of that, I'm going to be doing much better than what most people intend to do. I trained with the Atlanta under-19s, and it was such a good level, but I held my own. It made me realise, it woke me up to what's possible. And then the best thing happened, which was I met some American girls. I saw them whilst out shopping. Megan, Emily, I believe as well, but Megan was the one. She was the special one, and this was on a selfie machine. It was so incredible. I thought, well, if I meet an American girl, why not capture the moment? I thought, if I have a photo, then job done. And I thought, well, you know what, wouldn't it be great to hang out with these girls? I thought, oh no, I can't push that on them, they're only young. I thought they might have been a bit younger than me, but actually they were only about 17, 18. So I thought, actually, that's an okay age for me. And we went on to have brilliant meal, Japanese, fire everywhere. And I'll never forget that day for the rest of my life. It literally, went from conversation where they were sitting down having like a pretzel or something. Next thing I know, they put makeup on my arm in a shock because I was looking for a gift for my sister. And then, I go out on a date with her on the second date, and it was just so incredible. The taxi driver said, "Oh, is this a date?" And I said, "Well, I suppose it is." She said, "Should we go roller skating or bowling?" I was just like, either will do. We went for a meal. I had lasagna. We went for an Italian meal. But the biggest thing was I got my first kiss in America, and that was such a huge deal to me because I've waited years, not because, necessarily I'm someone who doesn't talk to people. It's just, I believe like in anything in life, it takes confidence, it takes practice. And, you know, I saw my chance, and Megan will always hold a special place in my heart. She's someone who's impacted my life that I can't explain and put into words, because someone for once gave me the chance to, you know, go out on a date and actually, you know, give them a kiss, you know, because I've had so many situations over the years where it's been tough, but the photo says it all, and a photo really does tell 1,000 words. And that has been the best day of this year, probably the best day, one of the best days of my life, without a doubt. And I was so happy I couldn't stop smiling in the taxi on the way back. We went bowling, obviously, and the toughest thing, the hardest day of my life as well, was to leave there. I'd finally met my dream girl and I had to leave a day later, and I just thought, what could have been, you know, what could have been if, you know, I'd stayed another week. And it's hard to take, you know, she even said on my Instagram, come back soon. And I just, you know, I couldn't believe it. I'd finally cracked it. I'd finally got what I wanted, and I had to leave. And it was hard. It really was hard. But, you know, as they say, life goes on, and I thought, well, I can come back, so it's not the end of the world. And that was just a video, you know, I look back on that and just, you know, to reminisce over that, it's just fantastic. It really is. Atlanta, it was such a brilliant trip. I did so many things. I got the Captain America shield, got a photo of the flag, and I'll look back at that in years to come and say, you know what, that was when I really took a step outside my comfort zone. I became independent. You know, I went to an American university. I went to the stadium. I didn't get in the stadium, didn't even get to see a match. But you know what I said to myself? I've got unfinished business here in Atlanta, and one day I will go back. And, you know, I might not get exactly what I want. I wanted to go back to the Atlanta Summit and speak at the UCFB Summit, and that was all agreed. You know, I kept FaceTiming Megan, and I knew there was going to be a match, and it was going to be even better. And sometimes, you know, things happen for a reason, but I definitely have unfinished business in Atlanta, and I plan to go back there as early as next year. And there's a UCFB Summit in Miami. I'll talk about that before we finish, but definitely some unfinished business, and I want to go back there. Then we had March, and I had to come straight back into an event. I had a presentation on what I just filmed, but I also had a presentation with my dad, the 60 Day to Lose a Stone event. And to be fair, looking back, I combined everything I've learned, and I did even better. Looking back at it, it's going to serve me so well going into an online course, going into everything going forward, and you can never substitute putting the hours in for speaking. Then we also had my granddad's birthday, obviously my birthday as well, the same month. But it's so special to celebrate what was his 85th birthday, and obviously it's been a tough year for people like him. And I'm so grateful to him because he actually gave me, which we'll get on to, £2,000 for achieving my first class degree, and I'm so grateful to him because he's someone who is a giver. You know, he takes us out for meals as a family, and it was just so great considering what's happened in the rest of the year where you can't meet and stuff. To have that opportunity back in March at a Chinese restaurant was just absolutely phenomenal. Then I had my 21st birthday, and yeah, I got a MacBook, and I wanted a MacBook for as long as I can remember. And finally, you know, I got one for my birthday. I wasn't really asking for it, but my parents were generous enough to give me one. And, you know, I start to realise how much my parents give me, and that's why, you know, I have to prove to them, or not prove to them, I need to, you know, give back. And that's not just giving back in money, that's giving back your time, your energy, helping them out, because I realise that's, you know, they're going to give you this, then you have to at least do your part. But 21st birthday was the last thing that happened before lockdown. I'm so glad I got to celebrate it in a restaurant. Then I had the EMC, Matt Wilson's event in Brighton, and it was getting tough at this point because, you know, I was thinking about going back to Atlanta, but I also, you know, had to focus on business and get better. I met Spencer Lodge, who's interviewed Tony Robbins, and I met John Pemberthy, who's just a specialist on YouTube, advertising, online marketing, and it was such a great event. And I had an essay at the time, and I got it done. And I remember being on the beach, and I went into Acosta, did an essay, and I got a second class on it in the end. It was about racism, and, you know, the Black Lives Matter hadn't happened at this point, but I just wrote a really good essay and just got it done. And I didn't think I was going to pass it, but I did. And I remember seeing the James Bond advert, not the advert, the picture, and I thought, I have to see that with Megan in America, because my mum and dad, they saw James Bond as their first day, and I thought, it's gone full circle. I'm going to go to America and do the same and watch James Bond with Megan, and as they say, live happily ever after. But you know, the film hasn't come out yet. There's still hope. But you know, it was when I first heard. I think it was later that day after seeing that they said James Bond delayed until November, and I thought things are going to get serious now. I also had the Andy Harrington event, but at this point I was feeling quite rough. What turned out to be, I think, COVID-19 coronavirus. I did a juicing consultation with 3 women, and I just was sweating. I remember dropping the powder, it went everywhere, and next thing I know, I was in bed, and I think that's what was coronavirus. I'd never felt so hot in my life. I had a test a few months later, and it said I did have it. So maybe I did catch up with Jack Collison in Atlanta. Who knows? Because he was ill, and that was why. You know, I couldn't go out that night with him, but obviously I met Megan, but obviously then I interviewed him, I probably caught it because he wasn't in a bad way. But you know, I got over it. Then we had the lockdown, which at first was tough to take, especially when Trump said, you know, no travel to America. I was gutted because I was all geared up to go back. But as it turned out, I was probably going to burn myself out, and I was probably going to, you know, overdo it and probably not get to America because I had my documentary to focus on. You know, it was a time of self-reflection. You know, the announcements were tough, you know, going to Sainsbury's, you know, going shopping, it was, got a bit tedious in the end. And, you know, I just remember thinking, well, I've met Megan, but, you know, I need to keep talking to girls because, you know, you don't just do something one time and then stay good at it for the rest of your life. And I thought, you know, if I want to be the best version of me when I see Megan again, I need to keep talking to girls. But I suddenly lost my confidence because lockdown, you know, I wasn't meeting as many people. And then I saw this girl in Sainsbury's and I actually said hello to her. Turns out I talked to her before, I met her at some other place. And then I kept going back, you know, and then I thought, well, I need to keep talking to girls because I need to keep practicing so I can get better. You know, so when I meet Megan again, I'm ready. And it sounds pathetic, but you know, it's social confidence, you know. And then I ended up getting banned from Sainsbury's, and you know, there's so many highlights this year, and that was a tough one to take, but the lessons are just as valuable. And what I learned was, you know, if you're going to talk to someone, don't linger, you know, strike first, as they say. And obviously I had my UCFB lectures, all digital, which was a bit weird, but we got through it. Obviously it was a blessing because I got to work on my documentary and start to edit it as well. And then obviously as well, you had the Atlanta Virtual Summit, and you know, it was hard to watch it because I thought, you know, I was going to speak at this event, and I thought, you know, next year, who knows, you know, so just be patient. Moving on to May, well, this is when I published or submitted my documentary. A lot of hard work went into that, you know, words can't describe how much pain, sweat, effort, tears, sleepless nights went into it. But that was a proud moment when I did my final video, and obviously graduation went on to be virtual, but next year, hopefully the in-person one will go ahead and I'll get that Wembley Stadium photo. But it was great to go out with my parents when it was a bit eerie, but we did it anyway. It was a time to, you know, really connect with what's important, you know, my cat there, Leo, you know, it was such a great time just to, you know, enjoy the little things. I grew my hair much longer. You thought, you know, some of the things I wouldn't normally do, I can do them now. Now's the time. I did a juicing masterclass, which I filmed and, you know, went on to put out and create my first online product. And I remember seeing Jason Vaughn. I was meant to go to Juicy Oasis in May, and obviously I had to postpone it. But what I realised is, you know, I might not have met him. I wanted to meet the guy, and I'd been planning to meet him so many times. At book signing, didn't meet him. And 4 years later, you know, I thought I'm going to meet him this year, and I finally got the money to go to Juicy Oasis, but I had to postpone it to August, which at this point didn't seem very likely either. I kept training with my goalkeeping coach Billy. I thought, you know, if I want to go back to Atlanta as well, I need to keep fit, and I thought, well, I do need to think of my options back here as well. But I had been doing the How to Beast training, 3 months in the gym. I went from like 13% body fat to like 9% body fat, just incredible. My dad did it too and lost loads of fat, gained muscle, and that's what it's all about. And this was the best time to do it when I had no football going on. This was the first time we actually saw, you know, not just the 4 walls of our house, and we actually got outside, got to the beach, and we saw, you know, the other part of our family, our cousins, my auntie, and her daughters. It's so great to see them, and by the beach, that was great. Obviously then as well, a few weeks later, we went to Smith's restaurant. We actually went there twice in the summer, but we went there as well to celebrate my graduation. I got my results and I got a first class honours degree, and I was so happy with that result. We went up to London to celebrate. Thankfully restaurants had opened up. definitely a proud moment, you know, a lot of hard work, and sometimes, like I said, we can look back and forget how much work it really took, but that was so great. But obviously as well, you know, I've realised university, that was just the glory, but the hard work had been done before. Now was the time to start getting better and creating the next chapter. And that's when the Tony Robbins Comeback Challenge came along, and I thought, I have to do this. Started listening to it, it was just incredible. It told me, you know, he said things like act, don't think, you know, just get things done, do things in life. And then he talked about his Unleash the Power Within, which I went on to do. I also had Andy Harrington's virtual speaking. For me, it wasn't as good as the in-person, but still learned some good lessons. And then we had our first trip out to a restaurant for the first time in months, an Indian restaurant, just the three of us. In July, you know, I was really, you know, at this point, just desperate to get back to America. You know, like I said, I'd had everything I wanted out there, and I wanted to take it further. I only had, you know, in one day, I had my best day ever. You know, I filmed the documentary, I trained with the football team, I met the girl of my dreams, and I thought there needs to be a way to get back to America. But obviously at this point, things were starting to turn around, and I thought, you know what, I can make it happen this year. I want to go back in September, go back for Megan's birthday, you know, take her skydiving, go to the Comic Con, or I don't know, it's called Dragon Con, dress up as, you know, Captain America, because that's my favourite superhero, and we can go together. And you know, looking back, you know, to have optimism is key in life, but sometimes to be realistic doesn't go amiss as well. But you know, under normal circumstances, you'd be able to go back and do what you want. It's a case of earning the money, get a plane ticket, fly back there, and you're rocking and rolling. But obviously, a different year requires a different mindset, a different approach to things. Then I had Unleash the Power Within virtual. I was a bit skeptical, but it was incredible talking to people around the world, from America, and it was just incredible, you know, working on making notes, listening to Tony Robbins at 4 or 5 in the morning, doing a board break, just incredible. I remember watching, well, we were trying to watch the takeoff, the space shuttle, but actually didn't take off until a couple of days later. We had a McDonald's on the lawn, it was a nice summer's night. I remember talking to Jack Collison on the phone, and I remember telling him about the first class I'd got. I remember putting this off because I thought, you know, I'm going to give him a proposal a few weeks later and say, you know, I want to come back and train with the team. Because I thought, if I'm going to go back and meet Megan, I need to make it sustainable. You know, and maybe if I get signed by Atlanta, that's the way to go. And I remember him saying at the end of it, well, obviously at the moment it's a bit up in the air, but we'll look at it in a few weeks, and you know, if there's anything you ever want. And I was like, anything, you know, anything, you know, I just want to come back and train, you know, that's what I really want. And to talk to him was so great, and to hear his voice again, because I still have to pinch myself, you know, some of the things that happened this year, and that's one of them, is a miracle that it happened. And it just goes to show you what's possible for the future. We had a meal, me, my dad, my mum, my sister and her boyfriend, and I'm happy for them that they're together, but it does remind me, you know, I need to step up and get a girlfriend, because it's been too long now. I need to find the special one, and I feel like I already have, but who knows, you know, life can take twists and turns. We'll see what happens. August came, and I got a gift for Megan. I went on to send her 2 gifts actually. I sent her one for her birthday, but I wanted to send her something, you know, just to, you know, I wanted to treat her like my girlfriend, and you know, I sent her this Baby Yoda, because we talked about Baby Yoda. She got me into The Mandalorian. I sent her this Build-A-Bear, but then a few weeks later, another miracle happened, and I was able to go to Juicy Oasis despite coronavirus. There was no quarantine, it was lifted the day before. I actually FaceTimed Megan there as well, and you know, it was just, you know, it was unbelievable, it really was. And I actually met the man himself, Jason Val, the Juice Master. I got my certificate, I got my book signed, and just incredible to get around the guy, to listen to him. He was there for half the week, and such a great guy. He had a chat with me as well. I wasn't able to get him on video, but I've learnt my lessons for that. You know, next time I'll probably, you know, use my Apple Watch to record it, because you don't get those moments back. But like I said, incredible to go there in Portugal. Even better, you know, people say things are often not as good as they seem. Even better than what I imagined. They say don't meet your heroes, meet your heroes. You know, it just shows you I could meet someone like a Tony Robbins. Life is limitless if you're fearless. I met a girl called Kate there, and the people there were so incredible. Kate, you know, I was able to play tennis with her and her mum, so I wasn't alone. It was nice to meet someone who was my age. All the juices, the scenery was just magnificent. All that hard work had paid off. Went in a cryotherapy chamber. I met a lovely yoga teacher called Amy, who was American as well. And I also found a coin in my bag, which I didn't actually take to America this case. And I found an American coin, and I thought maybe that's my next stop. And I like to believe that. And I believe in, you know, signs and stuff. Then I came back, and straight away I went to a spa with my mum and dad. It had been booked for ages, and we went there, Lifehouse Spa in Essex. And I remember actually seeing a girl serving there, and I thought, come on, you know, keep talking to girls, you know, keep your confidence up. And I remember seeing her, and I went like that, and then lost the chance. And I remember going to another spa later on, a few months later. It's called Sopwell House, and I saw a girl who was a bit older than me. She looked a lot older than me, but she was only a bit older than me. And her name was Courtney Black, and she had 750,000 followers. And I didn't go up to her because I said to myself, I'm going to switch off. So I said to myself, never switch off again. It's the same with, you know, later that night I went to a restaurant, going off on a tangent bit, but I saw this beautiful girl, and I just thought, you know what, I should go up to her, not because I'm trying to make her my girlfriend, just because I want to, you know, not to test myself, but it's about growing, it's about developing, but, you know, just to meet someone. You know, everyone I've met this year has come from taking a leap of faith and going for it, and I didn't do it. So I want to tell myself in 2021, take every single chance, whether that's football, whether that's talking to girls, whether that's a career opportunity. Really think about it, and don't doubt, just go for it. I've had my cold plunges, I had my own one as well. I had the proper one, and served me so well. Then I realised that I was going to have to, you know, start to look at my options for football. I contacted, in the end, I think about 15, 16 clubs. I ended up training at Hartford Football Club with a guy called Ben Hurd. He's the manager. There was a guy from Ebbsfleet called Harvey, and I remember he was quite a tough guy. But, you know, at the end of the day, I got a pre-season out of it. It didn't work out. I got a phone call in the cinema. We went back to see Inception. I got a phone call, and he said, we have got another guy from abroad, so we'll be all right for the moment. If you want to still come as training. Obviously, I explored other avenues. But the guy who was managing, he played with Joe Hart. So that was the level I was around. So it was good to get that experience. And then in September, you know, I'd been putting loads of leaflets out over the months, the latter part of the year. From the gym, I had 2,000 leaflets to get out. I got out hundreds. I remember getting one person in Hutton who actually went to the karate club I went to, and had a juicing consultation with her. I remember turning up, and she was like, "Can I see your ID?" And I was like, "Here you go." Normally I don't carry it. I also had a juicing consultation with my masseur. So, you know, shows you how things, you know, strange things can happen, mysterious things can happen in life. But juicing, taking it to the next level, teaching people, and it's just amazing how what you know can impact someone else as well. Obviously, I was working at the gym as well, going back to my roots. I also went back to my roots as well by playing football for Herringate Football Club. I think that's coming later. I remember going to a cafe as well, and just enjoying, you know, having a lunch break. And there was a girl there as well. And, you know, it shows you how many opportunities there are around you. And I didn't need to get downbeat. And so it was just nice, you know, it's nice in the midst of a lockdown to see what you want exists and to keep that hope going. I remember going to London to get Megan's necklace engraved for her 18th birthday, so I wanted to be there, but I couldn't, so I wanted to send her that gift. Even if I thought it was a little bit over the top, you know, I'd spent quite a lot of money, but, you know, I thought it was worth it for the girl that, you know, is the, you know, in this point in my life, is the girl that is the number one girl in my life, you know, the girl of my dreams, someone who actually likes me for me. And then obviously again, I did a video about my plan to get back to America, and even to this day, I still hold out that hope for next year, so we'll see what happens. Been working on my hip in the physio studio, really trying to improve. I got my West Ham third kit. I don't often buy the kit, but the black and gold kit, I had to get it. Then we had October, UCFB graduation. Obviously I knew I had the first class, I was a bit downbeat, so I thought it's not as good. But then I got an award, and I didn't see that coming, and it just really put the cherry on top of the cake. You know, I knew Mick Kelly would have given me this award, and it just meant so much to me to win another award. You know, now I realise I'm an award-winning documentary maker and speaker, and, you know, I believe that, you know, achievement after achievement follows the rewards. You know, first you learn and then you earn. So definitely a huge milestone and a nice way to round off university, with obviously the in-person graduation still around the corner. And then, like I said, I went back to my roots. Obviously I played for Hartford in the summer, but then I played for Herringate first team, their reserve team actually, which was a bit of humble pie for me, but I thought it's better to play than not to play. And then I also went on to train with Hornchurch first team before the second lockdown happened. But, just goes to show you, it doesn't matter what level you're playing at, it just matters that you're still in the game and you're training and you're giving it your best, not giving up and not giving in. Another juicing consultation just before the second lockdown with a guy from the gym, really nice guy. And I like to over deliver. It's meant to be about 60, 90 minutes. I think I went 2 hours, but just, I'm passionate about the subject. And I was telling him, I want to take my juicing stuff to the next level. I might have a delivery service. Would you be interested in that? And he said, oh, definitely, I'll definitely do that. So it just shows you there's a market for it and there's a need for people to have it and people want it. So really looking into a juicing delivery service next year. Me and my mum, my dad did a yoga class with Amy on Zoom, and I just thought it was amazing. I wouldn't be doing this unless I met this girl and talked to her. Did a few of them, really good, really nice girl. I remember seeing these girls at Lakeside when I was shopping just before the lockdown, Love Island finalists. I didn't know they were at the time, but I saw them. I thought they were obviously celebrities, they're models. I had to go up and have a photo. I wanted to do it to prove to myself, you can't let the corona stuff hold you back. Just because people are wearing a mask doesn't mean you can't go and talk to them. I remember the fire pit at the bakehouse, and I thought, I want to take a girl here. And obviously that didn't happen in the end because of the lockdown, but it was the pursuit. Like with the university, it's not about the photo, it's going after it, and it's the pursuit. And if you get the result, good. If you don't get it, at least you tried. But again, really in my mind, there should be a girl standing next to me, and that's one of my major goals for 2021, amongst many other things. But I did get a date with a German girl. I've been pushing. I thought, Megan's my girl, but I want to meet someone else and keep my skills going. And a nice girl, named called Doreen. I met her in Brentwood, but we only had a first date, and it was just a really good experience to meet someone from Germany. And I'm still trying to meet a nice English girl, but we'll see how that goes. But I did meet a Brazilian girl back in March, and she's actually gone back to Portugal now, back in Brazil. She studies at the local university, and she said she's going to be coming back in January. I think that'd be delayed now, but she said, I definitely have to see you again. So, there's options out there. There's reason to be hopeful. I met Shane Dow for the first time. Now he knows I exist. The best guy in the world for hip impingement, and I know that going into next year, it's going to really be the year where I turn it on its head, make my hip pain a thing of the past so I can really enjoy my football and play to the best level that I deserve to play at and not let pain hold me back. And then I did another mini beast workout. I actually got food involved this time. I got the Beastly app, started to really work on my diet, had a meal every day, started to get the juicing back on board. Did a second UPW with my dad, so great, even better than the first one. Made me realise I have to do Date with Destiny in 2021, whether it's virtual or in person. But then I was also ill. I think I burnt myself out, I might have got corona again. But they did talk about the vaccine, so when I was laying in bed and it was tough, I thought, you know what, there's reason to be hopeful for 2021. And what was good about this year as well is it gave me a chance to do the things I'd always been putting off. So we filmed the online course that me and my dad have said we're going to be doing. We're calling it the 60 Day to Lose the Zone. We did Flatten Your Tummy. We're probably trying to work on a better name for it, but now was the time to get it done. We did Zoom classes for the Mortons members, getting up and having some structure in the second lockdown. This time I didn't want to make the same mistake as, not getting things like my YouTube channel done. I wanted to make progress on something, so I stuck with the online course and we started to film from A to Z. Got it done, and now I'm in the editing process, and I'm so glad I got it done and actually took action and for once got something done as opposed to half finished. And then I also did juicing lives. So many times you think you're good at things until you actually do them, and I don't mean that I wasn't bad at them. What I mean is, there was room for improvement. There was things to learn, and sometimes you think you've done enough. You can peak a bit too early. I won the award for speaking. The real test is doing a live every week, and I had the table crash, but I learned from it, and I wouldn't have learned unless I was doing it. And I was also filming juicing videos. You can't talk about something and not be doing it. And I thought, I have to be making videos constantly, continually, because you're not defined by what you do once in a while. So I thought I have to keep doing this. And then we had the final month, finally starting to put together on mastermind.com the online course with my dad. It's going to be an amazing thing to impact people, to develop some income for me, not just any old income, some really good income that's going to start to allow me to achieve and do the things I want to do in life and be independent. I did the Christmas live special, which was just great, an hour long. I finally had my juicing masterclass ready to sell, which was just phenomenal. And I also completed the Knowledge Broker business, I can't remember. So there's two courses actually. There's the Knowledge Broker business, which is the mastery one, and then there's the Knowledge Broker Blueprint, which is a course I wanted the whole year. And looking back, all these things I've done, I set out to achieve so many things, and more or less I achieved all of them. So it shows you when you're specific with what you want, go after it and do everything it takes to make it happen. I'm so glad to achieve and get the certificate for that, to learn from the best in the world. And then obviously, just to finish off the year, we went back to the bakehouse. We went for a walk at Highlands Park for a Christmas walk, did a live Christmas workout with my dad to finish off the year, and then we had Christmas Day. Unlike normal, we were not in the Romantica, in the restaurant, but we went and made the most of it at home. Obviously didn't get to see Granddad at his house, but we did go and visit him. We went for a walk, and such a nice Christmas, because not often you get the chance to have to spend it at home. Not often we spend the morning at home and then we go to the restaurant and then the day's over. So welcome everything, welcome all experience in life, because sometimes the simplest ones are the best ones. And I like to finish the year off with, like I said, which was my best year, with a photo mid-December, just before things went crazy again. And we went to Côte Brasserie to finish the year where we started. And been a hell of a year. Obviously masks on this time. I remember when they first came out, and I was like, I'm not wearing that. It just shows you how, in life, change is inevitable, but progress is optional. And there's no denying that this year I've gone to new heights. I was flying high at the start of the year, and sometimes the best things come first and then the toughest things come second. But if I've learned anything in life, you don't need as much as you think, but you also have to realise that life happens for you. And you have to realise, as well, often what you want in life is not what you need. And sometimes, the things you need most happen for a reason. And that's why I think the lockdown happened for me. It gave me a chance to reflect, gave me a chance to, recover after what was a tough 3 years at university. It gave me a chance to look forward and look at what I'm doing next. And, I'm not there yet. I always say, I've not got the girlfriend yet, I've not got the income yet, I've not got the career yet, but I've done things. And if I ask myself the question, have I made progress in every area? The answer is a big yes. And that's why, looking forward to 2021, I'm so optimistic. And, like I said, this year it's been tough, but it's also been very, very rewarding. It's also been very rewarding. And I wanted to finish this video by saying, Happy New Year. If you watch this channel, I'm so grateful that you are watching it, and there's so much more to come. I've got a series of videos from this year, and so many big things coming up in 2021, just off the top of my head. There's a UCFB summit in Atlanta in April, proposed Miami one. They've got a new global hub, a new campus in Miami, David Beckham's club. So, who knows? I like to think I'll be able to go back to America, and that's the plan. Some other big things as well. I'm planning to do Tony Robbins Mastery University, which is business mastery, date with destiny. I've done UPW 2 or 3 times now, and now's the time to step up. I want to go back to, not back to Juicy Oasis, Juicy Escape is opening, or Juicy Mountain. I'll go to one of them, hopefully see Jason Val again, hopefully get a video done this time. But listen, I want to take my juicing business to the next level. I want to take everything to the next level. I know it's possible now, and dreams do come true. You just have to have the courage to pursue them. And I want to meet that girl. I want to get that girlfriend, and I want to take my football to the next level. I want to get that goalkeeping book published, interview the best, get the Zoom interviews done and put that book out there, help people like myself become professional goalkeepers, get a paid contract. That'd be nice. All of these things, they might not be guaranteed, but I'm going to go after them and give it everything I've got. And things change, things do take a twist in life, but right at this point in time, that's what I want to make happen. and welcome everything. Welcome the good, welcome the bad. There's going to be some more good stuff. There's going to be some more challenging times ahead. But I do know one thing for sure, is that you can handle anything, and what you need is always within you. And I've started to realise that, because sometimes you think that, you know, you have to rely on luck. You know, I always used to think, oh, they're lucky that they've got what they've got. But now I realise probably the biggest lesson I've learned is that, you know, there's no limit, and you create it all in life. You know, it starts with the thought. You know, Atlanta was just a thought. It was just a vision, and I made it a reality. So I leave 2020 with optimism. I'm going to let the past teach me, but I'm also going to let it motivate me to make sure that I, you know, look back at this year and say, you know what, in years to come, I didn't let this year get me down. I let it take me to levels I never thought possible. You never realise, I didn't realise how strong I really was until I was really tested. And like I said, I've had my best day, I've had my worst day, but in the end, they all serve a huge purpose. And like I said, often what you think you need, you know, ends up being something different. And life happens. Life is always happening for you, and that's the core belief I've had to have through thick and thin. You have to believe it. You know, there's been times where it's been going well, there's been times where it's not been going so well, but we're here now, we've survived. It's about 20 minutes until 2021. And I want to look back at this video in a year's time and say, you know what, I took it even further, because all you can ask of anyone in life is just to make progress. If you're making progress, you'll feel alive. And that's why I want to leave this year and say, leave behind the things that didn't serve you, take forward the things that did serve you, and 2021 is going to be the comeback year. It's going to be the year of independence for me. It's going to be the year of real results, because there's going to be no more playing small. This is just the start. It's not the end, it's just the beginning. And I cannot wait to start 2021. And I'll see you there. I hope you enjoy the following videos of what has been this year, and 2021 is going to be even better.